These were the best-selling trucks ever because they had built-in mall grab holders. 10 million pairs sold. What's up guys, my name's Levi, this is SKYTOP connecting you to skateboarding, and today we're doing 50 skateboard companies that disappeared. We recently did a video on brands that came back from the dead. A ton of you guys liked it, and so today we're doing a video on brands that weren't so lucky. Sheep shoes. When big brands like Etnies in America realized that other companies were ripping off their shoe silhouettes but using cheaper materials, they decided to create their own budget brand. Sheep shoes. They followed the companies that were ripping them off, using their tried and true silhouettes, but using cheaper materials. Hence the name Sheep, because they were following brands like Sheep. Unfortunately, when they produced the shoes, they realized that canvas had a much higher import tax than other materials. So then the cheaper material shoes ended up coming in at the same price or even more expensive than the suede and leather shoes for the brands that they were copying. Needless to say, Sheep only lasted 1 year. TV skateboards. TV was started by Mike Vallely and Ed Templeton, and no one really knew if the name stood for television or for Templeton Vallely. Not even they knew. Templeton said in an interview they each had a different opinion on what it stood for. It didn't really matter because after some creative differences, the company went away for forever. Termite Skateboards. This was a skateboard brand strictly launched at little kids. Everyone on the team was 13 and under. So when you watched the video, you saw a lot of knee pads, a lot of helmets, and their style was perfect. Some big names came up on the company though. Mitchie Brusco, Chase Webb, Austin Gillette, Alicia Lee, and Dolan Stearns. Eventually, the brand went out of business though because most kids that were skating just wanted a mini version of their favorite pro's board. Today might be a better time to bring that company back, especially if they made a board shaped like a scooter deck. Another age range skateboard brand was a deck company called 16. They had a stacked team. They had guys like Mikey Taylor, Jordan Hoffert, Garrett Hill, and obviously so many more. But the problem with their business model was that as soon as their team rider turned 16, they got kicked off the team. And so you better figure it out. Speaking of little kid brands, Hawk Shoes was Tony Hawk's brand underneath the Audio umbrella. And they had a pretty stacked team of mostly youngins. They had guys like Riley Hawk, Tyler Bledsoe, Grant Taylor, and of course, many others. Speaking of audio footwear. They took one step beyond into the red. Originally started by legendary vert skater Chris Miller. They had an epic team: Bam Margera, Tony Hawk, Chris Ray, Jamie Thomas, and so many more. They let out some legendary videos, but unfortunately, when the chunky shoe trend died, they died with it. Speaking of footwear brands, it's a hard market, so let's pour one out for all these fallen soldiers.
This goes out to all our fallen homies, yo. Come on.
Hey, yo, real talk.
All right.
88 Footwear, NSS, Nice Skate Shoes, iPath Shoes, Nadia Footwear, Epic Footwear, Castell's Footwear, Savier Shoes. We feature them in one of our recent videos, 9 Weirdest Skateboard Shoes. Decline. Actually, Decline Footwear had a pretty sick team. It's not a skate brand, but we gotta give an honorable mention to Soap Shoes. Listen, I was in grade 7, in the Lost and Found, I found a pair of Soap Shoes. I've repented to the Lord Jesus Christ about the fact that I stole them from the Lost and Found. Then I used to hit the rails into the gym, I used to hit the benches all around there, and I would soap shoe my face off. While we're on the footwear train, Steve Rocco from World Industries decided to toss his hat in the ring, and he started Duff's Shoes.
Duff Man says a lot of things. Oh yeah!
Duff's ran for a while and they did a pretty good job. We have to thank them for the Moses Zakonin Pro Model shoe and the very first ever Pro Model snowboard boot with Rob Sluggo Boyce. Those are two of our favorite Canadian homies. Lastly, in the footwear game, we have Simple Skate Shoes. This was actually a pretty sick brand. The shoes were kind of ugly, but they had the dopest team. They had Gons, Julian Stranger, Jamie Thomas, Jonas Ray, and of course many more. Technically, the brand did come back recently, but they're not skate shoes anymore, so they're dead to us in our culture. You can even catch Larry David on Curb Your Enthusiasm rocking these. Speaking of Gons, he actually launched his own clothing brand back in the day called Cools. It was a rad little brand, but it came and went pretty quickly. Gons, we'd love to see it come back. Watch our videos, like, subscribe, and comment, and bring back Cools. Speaking of clothing companies, what if I told you there used to be a clothing company that had the likes of Eric Costin, Mike Carroll, Gons, PJ Ladd, Andrew Reynolds, iShot, Guy Mariano, Rick Howard, and other gods of skateboarding. They made dope clothing, and get this, they still couldn't make a go of it. You probably see by now we're talking about 4-star clothing. They put out some of the sickest clothes, some of the craziest videos, but they couldn't survive when all the big shoe companies came into skateboarding and started signing clothing deals for their pros. There's been a lot of good clothing companies over the years that have died. One that we want to see come back for sure is TSA. This brand is synonymous with my favorite skater, my dog, Chad Muska, the Muska. Come on, let's go. Listen, I was a SKYTOP freak. They were hard to get in Canada, but I had like 4 or 5 pairs, all different colors. I waited in line and missed the line, had to order from a different state to get the gold and silver Muska SKYTOP. I never used the pouch, don't smoke weed, but man, do I love the guy, the Muska, the farmer Muska now. TSA. Got so successful, then it was sold by the founder, Angel Kabata. The brand died, and then he went on to start another iconic brand, Crew Apparel. He then sold that one, made a ton of money, and that brand died as well. While we're on the topic of clothing, let's pour one out for other clothing companies. Our guys like Counterculture Clothing, Ezekiel, November, Maddox, Inns or Innis, Dub Streetwear, and Drawers Athletics, who has lived on and extended their legacy through DC shoes. Let's talk about one of my favorite brands, Random's Hardware. I loved them, everyone else hated them because everyone else was cross-eyed. They were these hardware that had teeth on them that you'd put in the deck hole for your hardware and you'd hammer them in, and then the teeth would make it so they didn't spin. You didn't have to use any stupid Allen key. Listen, the board was toast after. You couldn't be reusing that board, like the hole was just too big and whatever, but the Randoms were so tight. Anyways, they died because no one liked them except for me. Please bring back Random's Hardware. And while we're on the topic of brands that need to be revived, that we want to see someone collaborate with Shreds or come up with a bunch of money, angel investors, let's go bring back Creeper trucks. For the love of everything, let's creep the streets. These are the spookiest trucks you have ever seen. They had all these grooves and spikes to be spooky like a bat, but they also were perfect spacing for mall grabbing. Every single one of you guys watching this video, I know you had a couple friends that rode these trucks. Unfortunately, all that extra metal just wasn't super practical. They were too heavy, and the brand was a brief flash in the pan. On the topic of trucks, the best truck brand there ever was, Monster Trucks. Funny name, right? Get this, their team was crazy. Jamie Thomas, Trainwreck, Brian Anderson, Heath Kirchhart, Skater of the Year's Monster Trucks. I had 3 pairs as a child. 3 pairs. I loved the eyes, they were spooky, and I just hit it right in the streets, grinded them. But that's because me and Jamie Thomas were like this and he didn't even know it. He's gonna watch this video and he's gonna unfollow. Watch the second this thing, 2 hours later, you're gonna get an unfollow from JT. Let's pour one out for some other truck companies. Mercury Trucks, Z-Roller, Phantom Trucks. If you've made it this far in the video, if you want to help us give you the content that you love, it actually helps. Like, subscribe, and comment. And if you haven't noticed, I'm wearing one of the dopest hoodies you've ever seen in your entire life. People ask us all the time, when are you getting Shreds gear in? I want to buy some, I want to cop some. We don't do it very often, we're doing it now. Brand new Shreds hoodies just dropped today. Hit that link, go buy them. It's in a bunch of different colors. They fit perfect, they're so comfy. This is a great way to support us, and just this weekend only, we've lowered our free shipping to include these hoodies all over North America. Get there while you can. Let's talk some wheels that just couldn't keep spinning. Hubble Wheels, Autobahn, Gold Wheels. I'm sure we missed some wheel companies that died. Let us know in the comments below which ones we missed. Let's look at some board brands that have died. Let's start with some heat. Boot Lake Skateboards. They were the sister company to Baker, and they had a stacked team like Alyssa Steamer, Trainwreck, Anthony Mosley, and Scott Kane, and of course many more. We wish they never went bye-bye. Milk Skateboards. It was a brand started by Christian Asoy when he was in full-blown party mode. It didn't last very long, but one of their claim to fame is that Mark Gonzalez designed one of their boards. He said it was his favorite board he ever designed because it was a funny take on fine art. It was so short-lived, it would be really hard to find one of these boards today. Obviously, the skateboard deck market is super hard to survive in because boards are easy to make, and so here's a few of our favorites that have died. Aesthetics, Rasa Libre, Elenium, Mad Circle, Menace, City Stars. The thing is, City Stars exploded. Their team was just insane. It included guys like Kareem Campbell, Paul Rodriguez, Spanky, Mikey Taylor. At that time, every kid dreamed of getting on City Stars and getting that diamond City Stars necklace as a signing bonus. We heard rumors, it's coming back. And if you follow skateboard news recently, Nikel and Tyshawn just left FA. Nikel's uncle is Kareem Campbell. We're starting this rumor now. Nikel and Tyshawn, boom, City Stars. Here's the thing, might not be that far off though, because citystars.com is still a domain. All right, back into it. Other skateboard brands that have gone too soon: Pop War, 3D, Small Room, Expedition 1, Invisible Skateboards, Zorlak, The Firm, Arcade, Planet Earth, Maple, Hollywood Hollywood and Hellrose, ATM Click, Consolidated, Selfish Skateboards, Numbers, Misfits Skateboards. We got some even older ones, GNS, Bulldogs, Veriflex, Walker, Uncle Wigglies, Emergency, Kryptonics, Circle A, Caster, Brand X, BBC, Powerflex, Hobie, Makaha, and obviously the list goes on and on. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Levi, this is Shred Shop, connecting you to skateboarding, and you just watched 50 skate brands that disappeared. If you guys like what we're about, follow us on all platforms, at Shred Shop or at Levi Switzer. Let us know in the comments below what your favorite brand is that has died, and if we missed any. If you hate when your favorite brand dies, let me give you a tip. Support the brands that you love. Support your local skate shop. Support skateboard brands themselves. That's the best way to keep skateboarding alive. Stay tuned for Comm of the Week. Oh, we got a spicy one. Comm of the Week. It's from my dog, Sad Planet. It was on our 9 weirdest skateboard shoes ever made video. He says, God bless the lace covers, keeping my laces and virginity intact during high school. That's right, buddy. Wrap it up. Yo, if you like this, watch one of our other videos, here and here.